Word. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? 2026 has been an incredible year so far, and we're excited about everything we haven't even seen yet. We got Trails coming, we got Fire Emblem coming, and so much more. But we wanted to talk today about all of the JRPGs that we've played this year, most of which were new to 2026, but some of which we played for the first time this year that may be older or didn't come out right in 2026. So we wanted to chat about these things and give you guys a sense of what's worth checking out, what's worth going and looking at if you haven't already. But before we get into it, Slam, how's it going, homie?
It's going good. I'm not quite as sleep deprived as was probably like a couple weeks ago. Babies are sleeping for a little bit longer stretches. I'm still getting up all hours of the night, but not staying up for the entire night anymore. Most of the time I'm getting some sleep. So that's good. Weather's nice. I've been getting outside a little bit.
Dude, the weather's been so nice. I know. It's starting to feel like fall. It's such a tease because I love fall is my favorite season. Yeah. And it's such a tease walking outside being like, it's not even August. Ohio, stop it. Stop doing this to me right now.
August is always rough.
Yeah, we went through a bout where it was like 100+ degrees outside for like 5 days. It was unbearable. My air conditioning couldn't keep up, and it was just like so hot. Yep. So it's been really nice. I'm glad that it's kind of cooled off, and it's been really nice outside. But that's it. That's where I'm at.
We're for the record, everybody who's been watching us for a while. We don't need to talk about the games that we're playing because the entire episode we're going to be talking about the games that we've been playing. So we're just doing a quick check-in and then we'll dive into it. So Mags, how's it going?
Yeah. It's been a long and difficult work week, but I'm here now, and so I'm a lot better. I'm excited to just hang out and talk with you guys about games because talking about games always makes me happy. So
it's so sweet. Mags gets a lot of crap from us, but she came in today and she's genuinely happy to be here, and it's so sweet to see. So we're glad you're here too, Mags. I'm sorry you've had a crappy week, but hopefully this makes it a little bit better.
It already has.
Oh,
so we're just moving on up.
Eat that medic on ice. We love each other. Deal with it.
He's going to be so mad at that moment. He's going to be like, oh, they did it again. They're being too wholesome. I wanted to tear
them apart. That's okay. Bonus XP today, y'all. Stick around because it's going to be good.
Yeah, I want to know.
Just let the good times roll while they can.
All right. For me, I forgot to mention last week, I went to this like anime expo thing. I think I forgot to mention it. Maybe I did.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, I went to this anime expo thing in Cincinnati with some friends, and we had a great time. But I was super excited. There was like multiple booths that had like swords from animes and different games, and so like there was a Monado there. There was the Master Sword. There was a bunch of Buster Sword replicas. Like I was losing my mind. I got these. Oh, these were so cool, Slam. I should have brought these up to show you. You would freak out. But there are these basically posters that had the music transcripts from, some of our favorite games like Final Fantasy and Zelda. But then there was like a print overlay. So I got like the Majora's Mask theme, and it had like the Majora's Mask print overlaid on top of the music. And I bought way, way more than I needed to. But they were so freaking cool, dude. There's like Final Fantasy, and there was Zelda, and I was just losing my mind. They were sick. Yes. And then also, there was like a retro shop, so I picked up Grandia 2, which was exciting. And then I did this on the pre-show too, but I was excited about these. And then they had freaking Pokemon Stadium, dude. But
Pokemon
like the box,
Stadium,
baby.
Oh
man, just look at the nostalgia. Feel it. Oh my gosh.
Are you feeling it now?
I'm feeling it. Yeah.
I am.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm really feeling it.
There we go. We all got it. There's a reference. You finally got one. It wasn't a hip hop reference. That's why.
Yeah. But otherwise, week's been good.
Sometimes.
The hip hop reference, I never understand those. Not a single time. I tricked Slam one time because I looked it up. And I said I definitely didn't look that up. Google. Yeah.
Oh.
He was so excited and I let him down. Anyway, week was good. I had like a big work event this week, and we got to do like some volunteering at a food bank and stuff, which is just always cool.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
especially when you're doing work that's very like heady, you know, you're strategizing and you're figuring out automation and all this other stuff. Sometimes it's just nice to like go do things, help, do stuff with your hands. Like, I don't know. That was kind of nice to get away. Yeah, but that was my week. I'm enjoying it so far. Glad to be here with you guys. And now we could talk about the games that we have been playing. We have a list. This is a big list.
I've played too many games this year. I don't even know how I've done it. I made this list and I was like, how have I played this many games? I don't understand.
Yeah, neither do we.
No.
But
neither do we.
But the list is not going to be in order. And so you'll just have to stick around to see if any of your favorite games are on this list that we've played and have some thoughts about. So we're going to kick this one off with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which is, it works because Slam, did you plan this, bro? You got your freaking Dragon Quest shirt on. Let's go, dude.
Let's
freaking go.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talked about this on that members episode for like 2 hours, you know?
Yeah, we got Brandon on here and we talked about it. It was great.
From Just the Gems, JRPG Pursuit, good friend of the show. And I think Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is a really good game for people that are like maybe even just trying to get into Dragon Quest. I think it's a very beginner friendly Dragon Quest game. For me, that was a little bit of a downside because I think it has a lot of really promising mechanics that could have been fleshed out a little bit more, and we could have had a little bit more challenging kind of like stuff going on later in the game. But
yeah,
eventually it got to the point where the game was just like you're mowing through stuff. It got real easy if you were taking advantage of the moonlighting job system. But overall, I really liked what they did here. They made it a more concise experience. The original Dragon Quest VII and Dragon Quest VII on the 3DS was massive. I mean, this game was huge. You didn't even get into like your first combat until like 3 or 4 hours into the game.
Yeah,
there was a lot of story, which I actually liked. I'm one of the few people that loves and adores the the original Dragon Quest VII. I don't know. Like, it was something I picked up, played for the first time on the 3DS, and fell in love with that game and was totally obsessed and played it all the way through and just got totally immersed and lost in it. And I can't really explain it, to be honest with you, entirely. Like, I get all of the criticisms that people have of it being too long, and I understand why they did what they did with Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, but I think that it was missing some of that like immersive factor that came from that one, from a story and world and lore standpoint, because I know they removed some content from Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. They shortened some aspects of it, and for that reason, it just is a little bit lower on the list than the original for me.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it overall. I think we gave it like a solid 7, 8 out of 10, something like that, like when we originally talked about it.
Yeah, for me, I think the more I think about it, it probably sits at an 8 out of 10 for me.
Sure.
I think the art style, the music is still really good. It's got that Dragon Quest charm. The job system, the classes are all fun. The characters are cool. You know, the story beats are there. So for me, I'd still put it in the 8 range.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was still a fantastic game. We talked a lot about the criticisms that we had because I think, to Slam's point, right? Like we just had different expectations walking into this one, and y'all know me. I broke this game real fast.
It's easy to break too. I broke it too.
It's
and I don't
really easy to break, and
it's almost unintentional.
Absolutely, I destroyed it. So my biggest criticism walking away from it wasn't necessarily that it's easy to break, because I break games all the time. It's that even after you break it and everything, like later on in the game, the mechanics don't necessarily give you the kind of payoff that you're hoping for. There's a lot more they could have done to make it more mechanically interesting, that just isn't there, which was fine. It was still fun, and you can make the game harder for yourself. You can put it on hard mode. You can not be an idiot like me and break the game. But the story was a lot of fun. It is absolutely beautiful, this game. Like, if you're just looking for like one of the most beautiful presentations of a Dragon Quest, like a 3D Dragon Quest, and you want that sense of adventure, and you want to go out there and like dig into this crazy story that spans time and all of these kinds of things, like, it is a beautiful game. It is so fun. And the way they wrapped it up, especially like in the third-ish act or something like that, um, that really like elevated it for me personally. And it's just it's a cozy, fun game. Like, if you are looking for a JRPG this year that's just beautiful, cozy, the music is good, and you can just get that sense of adventure and enjoy it, and it doesn't take that long anymore. Then this is absolutely a fantastic game, and it's definitely worth checking out. So we had a good time with that one. And Mags, you said you hadn't gotten to that one, correct?
No, I've not played that one.
Yeah, because she hates Dragon Quest. All right, let's go to the next one.
Not true.
I know it's not, but I'm never going to stop giving you a hard time.
I know.
It's because we love you. The next one we have on the list is a more recent one, and that's Echoes of Aincrad.
Another one we've talked extensively about on a review episode we did, where we talked about it for like a full hour.
I think this also might be a good time to mention the winner of the giveaway.
Yes,
that we were supposed to do.
Thank you, Mags. Yeah. Speaking of Echoes of Aincrad, in that video we had a giveaway, and we said to comment down below, and we are so thrilled to announce that Dark Ricky 00 is the winner of that code. So Dark Ricky, we will be reaching out, and we will make sure to get you that code here soon. So shout out.
Shout out.
Keep an eye out.
Congrats.
Yep.
Yeah, and hope you enjoyed the game.
Yep. For me, like we went over, there's so much like context that's required for Echoes of Aincrad. Because I'll kind of just shape it this way and leave it at this, since we talked about it a lot on the show already. I had a lot of fun with it. I also have a lot of issues with it. I think that it is repetitive in a lot of ways. And I think from a game design standpoint, it's just not on the level of most games you see in 2026. I just don't think it does anything really substantial or creative to set itself apart. And I think there's games that came out in the same month that do what it's trying to do better. I think if I had to score it, probably sit somewhere around a 6 for me.
Yeah, 6-7. I think
6-7.
Get out of here.
Yeah. I hate that that's a thing. Anyway, I'd say it's in that range for me too. I will admit, like, I looked up Sword Art Online after playing the game, and saw like in the anime like some of the areas of Aincrad, and I was like, oh, I've been there. Like, I know where that is, and that like there is something about that feeling of recognition. So I do think if you're a Sword Art Online fan, it is a really cool way to be in that world. But yeah, mechanically it was very samey and kind of repetitive. Again, we talk about this more in our episode. But one of the things that Slam and I kept coming back to, even with all their critiques, is like we still had a good time. We had a lot of fun with this game. There was something about, I don't know, like the best way I could describe it is like kind of getting into a flow state almost with the way the quests worked out, where you had to kind of unlock the map and find treasures and fight enemies and then go find bosses and things like that. There was something about that was just easy to come back to, and it was very easy to enjoy. So we can step back and look at it and be like, there are things about this game that could have been more, I don't know if modern is the right term, but it could be more in line with newer games. But there is a fun factor there. So I agree with Slam. I think ultimately I wouldn't change what he said about the score. But I do still think there's something there for certainly fans of Sword Art Online, but even those who might be curious. Like, I think you can find some genuine enjoyment from this game. So yeah, I'm glad that we had the opportunity to play it. And I do think it's worth checking out if you're curious. But there is a lot of other really great games this year, which
also,
we'll continue to walk about.
We should say, shout out to Bandai for providing the review code. Both of us got review codes for the game, and also for providing the giveaway code for the game as well.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yep. All right. The next one on the list here, we have Adventures of Elliot.
And I finished this one. I think I'm the only one that's finished this one. Yeah. So I love this game. I think like it does have a few flaws here and there, but they're small. I think it's really cool to see an HD 2D kind of like Zelda style game done from Square Enix. I think that the story gets better the further you get. I think at the beginning it doesn't grab you really strongly right away, but toward the end it does pick up. It gets a lot better, and then you have to go for the true ending, because like the first ending on the credits roll is not right. That's not the ending that you want. So continue past that, get the true ending. There's some reveals there, twists and turns that you absolutely need to see that are relevant for the rest of the game you just played. But mechanically, it's fun. The combat is a good time. The boss fights are definitely the highlight. The dungeons, the puzzles are not too challenging. I would almost put it as like a Zelda light. I could like solve all of those puzzles without any sort of challenge whatsoever. So they were relatively easy for people that are like used to those style games, right? If you played a lot of Zelda growing up and you're like a big Zelda fan, you're going to mow through those dungeons. But it's still a wonderful time. Looks beautiful. The music, the soundtrack of Adventures of Elliot is stellar. If I had to rate this game,
it's so freaking good, dude.
Probably sits at an 8 for me.
Okay. Yeah, this one I'm not all the way through. I've made some significant progress in the game. I'm really enjoying it so far. There is something about this game feeling very like Super Nintendo-ish in the best way. Like it just feels like a classic old school style game, but it's modern, beautiful, really good mechanics. A lot of the exploration is so much fun, finding those treasure chests, finding those dungeons, finding those upgrades and all of that kind of stuff on the map. It's so good, and it just gets better and better from where I am right now. So I'm excited to play that one, see it all the way through and beat it. But I just generally love that Square Enix has been taking a crack at building these games that feel more retro, that feel more nostalgic, like they're taking advantage of that HD 2D art style and doing something different with it. I love that, and I would love to see more of that. Frankly, I'd love to see more of that on cartridge and disc Square. So, that'd be really great. But the games themselves have been stellar. And I would love to see more of this kind of thing in general. And I'd love to see them get back to an era where they are more experimental. Like Adventures of Elliot it feels like Square taking a crack at something that they didn't before. And that was the spice of life with gaming in the past, like that's why we have so many classics in the, PS1 era, the PS2 era, because there were so many different things that they tried and so many different things that they did. So I'm excited about the outing with this one and what it could potentially mean for the future. So yeah, that was a really good one. But the game that and I mean both of you as well, actually, am totally obsessed with right now is Digimon Story Time Stranger. Holy smokes, Mags, I'll let you start with this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I put off this game last year because I just thought, this just feels like a handheld experience. Like, I'm sure, I know it looks good on the PS5. I played the demo and all that, but yeah, it's just been so much fun to play this on Switch too. It looks amazing. It runs amazing. And it's just everything I wanted from a Digimon game. I mean, you can literally create a team of whatever Digimon you want. If you want to be like me and try to get like the, you know, the mons from like the first season and second season of from the adventure seasons, you can. Or you can do totally different things, and there's just so many Digimon to choose from. So that's been really cool. I love that like the protagonist can be so goofy, and like there's just a humor to this game that's super fun as well. That kind of just reminds me of the anime a lot. Like you have all these serious things happening, but then like there's also room for it to be really funny too. And that tone, at least for me so far, has not shifted. Like there's just still like a very lighthearted feel to it. And I love that. So yeah, just as a longtime Digimon fan, like playing this game has been so nice. Like it's just relaxing. It's just fun. And I'm glad that they were able to kind of capture the essence of the anime and also make a really fun and engaging JRPG at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Slam, do you have any thoughts on this one?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I loved it. I played it when it first came out on the PS5. Played it a lot. Almost finished the game, but didn't quite finish it. Wanted to return to it on the Switch too, which I have now. I'm about 5 hours in. So, yeah, loving it. I really am having a good time.
Yeah, I'm totally obsessed with this game. Like this is like maybe one of my favorite games of the year. And I didn't expect that. I got it on the PS5. I did the preview event. I got a video on my channel about the preview event, and I was really excited about it then. But I don't know, something in me was skeptical. Like I thought I'm gonna like it, but you know, maybe it won't be as good as I felt with the preview. We'll see. And as time went on, I was kind of like, I don't know. But I remember when it came out alongside, was it Octopath Zero on the PS5?
Yeah, it was close. It was
they
around
were a few months apart. Octopath Zero was in December of last year, and I think Digimon was in October.
Okay, then it was something else big that I wanted to play. Like I don't know if that was Tactics or if that was Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D. It was one of those games that I was playing. They were kind of clumped
together. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to get to Digimon, and I kept hearing about, like friends of the channel, like Emily was playing Digimon, and I was like, oh, I want to play this game, but there are these other games to play. And so I just kind of waited and then figured it's going to come to the Switch. And so, the handheld is going to be the primary way that I want to play personally. And sure enough, got a code for this one. Shout outs to Bandai. And I have just been absolutely obsessing with it since day one. Like I'm still not done obsessing over this game. I think I'm like 30 hours in, 35 hours in, something like that. And I'm at like agent rank 6, and you need to get to agent rank 7 to get like the next set of big evolutions. So I've been like preparing my mons for that and finding ways. There's some of them that have like fusion paths, and I've been working on some of that stuff. And just the monster collecting, the monster training, the Digivolution, all of that stuff is such an addictive gameplay loop. And then the story is good. It's interesting. It keeps you moving forward. It's not quite what I expected. And I don't know. We'll see how it ends. I know a lot of people who've played it said they really like the ending, that there was, some really cool twist or something. But I did not expect it to hit this hard for me. Like I was thinking this would be like a solid 7, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in the moment. I don't want to overplay it, but we're all just chatting here, and we can't take these numbers too hard and fast anyway. But I right now I'd easily give this a 9. Like this is like up there for me, much more so than I thought. Absolutely am loving this game. So yeah, if you have not checked out Digimon, I feel like this game is going to be overlooked in general. Like maybe it's doing well within our community or something, but like everybody takes Pokemon seriously, but like Digimon, you don't hear as many people talking about. And I'm just here to tell you, if you enjoy the monster collecting of Pokemon and you have any sort of familiarity with Digimon, you're going to freaking love this game. Like it is really, really, really good. And you will absolutely enjoy it, especially if you're like me and you enjoy finding ways to get like really powerful monsters early and breaking the game and stuff like that. Because that's exactly what I've been doing, and it's been awesome. So freaking love this game. Yeah. All right. I'm going to lump these next two together. These games came out much earlier, obviously, but we wanted to highlight them because they have Switch 2 releases, and that's Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. These came out on the Switch 2. They did come as key cards, but I mean, for these two in particular, they were really, really massive games. So at the time, that was the only option available to them. However, as far as key cards are concerned, they did present some legitimate value. Both of these games were not very expensive on the Switch 2, and they came with Magic the Gathering cards, which blew up with the Final Fantasy expansion. I mean, I should say the Final Fantasy expansion blew up. Magic is already huge. But that's pretty decent value for a key card, right? They weren't $80 games with nothing else. Like there were, I think it was like $40.99 or $49.99 and $59.99, right?
I think so. I don't think either one of them were over 70 or anything crazy.
Yeah, I think
like
it was
that,
actually cheaper than that. I think it was $39.99 and $40, unless
was it?
The physical ones were more expensive. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they were cheaper
than that. They were lower
than
normal. Let me see what Rebirth is.
Yeah. I mean, either way, like they were a really good deal. And again, they have some sort of physical thing to go with it for at least for the release versions of them.
Rebirth was 50.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
50.
That's wild.
And then
dude.
Remake was 40.
Yeah. Not bad at all.
No, that's not bad at all. And they played brilliantly on the Switch too. And
I mean, we don't have to talk ad nauseum either, because we all know how much all of us love Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, but we do need to hear from Mags because she loves Final Fantasy now. Right?
Now I'm
we'll see.
Really Fantasy VII Rebirth. She loved it.
I did. I
really enjoyed. I enjoyed reading your tweets on it.
Oh, good. Yeah, those were popping off too. Like, I think a lot of people jumped in on this game for the Switch 2 versions. I mean, I'm glad that it came there because I think it allowed more people to play it. And the port was amazing. Like that game has no business running as well as it does on the Switch 2. So that was super great to see. But honestly, I just feel like Rebirth was such an amazing representation of like what this game is. Like as someone who like didn't love Remake, like Rebirth totally sold me on the concept and characters and everything. So it was incredible. And yeah, I want to see where the story goes now. I'm super invested.
Yeah, it is. There's something to be said about getting these games on the Switch too. Like the handheld element here is just so strong, and like Rebirth in particular, with all of the things that you could do, it's wild that we're playing that in a handheld like this. Like it makes my younger self just scream.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible. And there's so much to do in this game. It is very overwhelming. But I think that like if it's definitely worth the time.
Did you like Queen's Blood as much as I did?
Yeah, I finished that whole quest line.
Good.
You did. All right.
Let's go. I was wondering if you had finished the quest line.
Of course I did. I was just like, we're not, because like you would get, because it is a quest line. And so as you like worked your way up the ranks, you would get little cutscene snippets of like the creator of the game.
The cutscenes got so weird. You're like, what is happening around here?
That quest line's like so long. It could have been, that quest line purely could have been its own like Queen's Blood game.
Yeah, no, totally. And I knew when I was playing through the game, because I don't know about y'all, for the most part though, when I finish the main story of a game, it's hard for me to go back. Xenoblade 3 is like an exception for me, but like for the most part, I want to try to finish as much as possible before finishing the main story, because then I'm kind of like, I want to move on to the next thing. Yeah. So the Queen's Blood quest line, I was like, I have to finish this before I even touch the final mission in this game, because I got to see how it ends and I want to know. And so that was like a huge priority for me. So
glad to hear it.
Yep. And we went through the whole tournament and we saw that crazy scene and reveal with that too on the boat. That was amazing. So
good.
Yes. So Rebirth was incredible. I think like if you've held off on playing Remake and Rebirth so far, the Switch 2 ports are like the perfect place to jump in. So what are you waiting for?
Right.
Do it. Yeah. What are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
And speaking of Mags, we got Trails Beyond the Horizon on this list. I'm obviously the biggest Trails fan of all time, but even I have not played this Trails game. So Mags, tell us about it and tell us why we should even consider this game.
Oh man, I mean, this is an incredible game. It's also incredibly tough to recommend unless you are a Trails fan who has played all of the games leading up to this point.
I have FOMO, admittedly.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I wish it was me.
I get it. I know it's you're getting there though.
I'm getting there.
It's a journey and you don't want to skip any steps.
You got to enjoy it while you're in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Trails Beyond the Horizon, just as one shout out to the JRPG Pursuit. They had me and Cam on for a spoiler cast. That was a super fun time. So like we talk in detail about the nitty gritty of that game on there, but just from like a surface level standpoint, this is the third game in the Calvard arc of the Trails series. So it's kind of divided up into arcs as you go through it. And this is kind of the game where a lot of things started coming together, lore-wise, plot-wise, like who and what is in charge and causing the conflict of this arc. And if you've played any Trails game, like those reveals are always so, so good. So Trails Beyond the Horizon was kind of that pivotal point in the arc and set up a lot of things that are going to have to be resolved in some way in the next game. So that's a huge high of this game. I think this game also has the best iteration of Trails combat that we've seen so far. It is so good. And it's also the first to have, or it's not the first, but it's the most recent entry, I guess, to have a dedicated Switch 2 port after Remake. And the gameplay's so great there. Like the Switch ports for a while were just not good for Trails games, at least for the 3D ones. Like, of course, Crossbell looks fine there, but Cold Steel did not look good there. The Daybreak games didn't look good there. But on Switch 2, it looks amazing. It runs amazing. Like, I'm excited to play the rest of the series on Switch 2. So, cannot recommend this enough if you have caught up to the series up to that point. If not, please do not play this game. It's going to spoil a lot for you. So just enjoy it when you get there, when you're ready. But it's probably my favorite game that I've played this year so far. So it's a 9.5 out of 10.
That is
9.5 out of 10. Sorry, Digimon. Scoot over, buddy. All right.
It's Trails. I'm a simple
Beyond
woman.
the Horizon is... I'm excited. Yeah, I'm sitting here in Cold Steel 3 land.
Yeah.
Look, I love Cold Steel 3, but
I know it's a great one.
It is.
They're all good.
It's really good.
Horizon has implications for the rest of the series, and I'm just so interested to know what the heck is going to happen. So we'll see.
Man, the excitement builds.
The hype is real.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But we're going to pivot off of the highs of Trails Beyond the Horizon and shift to Code Vein 2. And this is the slam show for this one, because I don't think... Did you play it, Max?
No.
No. Yeah.
Not really my vibe.
No.
Not really my vibe.
It's a...
no shade.
It's like an anime Souls game.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to shout out the character creator because it's one of the best I've ever seen.
Cool.
And Code Vein 2. Like, you can just do so much with the character creator in that. It's just like full customization there. You can spend hours customizing a character, and you can just go back and customize them whenever you want. You don't have to, it's not like a set it and you can't change it ever again type thing. You just customize your character a bunch throughout the game, and I love that. I think the game suffers a little bit from sticking to that Souls formula. I think if Code Vein would just kind of be its own thing, then it would be a better game. I think that they really want it to feel like a Souls game. It just doesn't do the Souls things as well. And I think to be that close to a Souls game, you really have to get down the performance, and like, everything has to be so precise. Everything has to be so perfect. Frame rate, button presses, like everything has to happen exactly how the player intends. And I think Code Vein 2 misses the mark a little bit there. But overall, I had a good experience with the game. I had a fun time. I finished it. I got like really into it when I played it. It was more toward the beginning of the year, and I didn't have a lot that I was playing at the time, but I thought it was better than Code Vein 1, in my opinion. I just thought I just had more fun with the game, I had more fun with the characters, and the open areas were fun to explore. I would probably sit at like a 7 on this one overall.
Okay. All right. Well, next up, this is also kind of a slam one, but I played this one a little bit as well. We have Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment.
No, I'm not really a Muso guy or a tactics guy.
Xenoblade Warriors.
Xenoblade Warriors, let's go, baby!
I complain all the time about like Muso games, but I'm always playing them. I play all of them.
We know, Slam.
It's like so weird, right?
It's only weird to you. We're not surprised.
Look, Age of Imprisonment is sick. I love this game. This is another game I got totally addicted to. Look, what is it? Age of Calamity. That game on Nintendo Switch ran like butt. That game was was a calamity. Bad. It was like calamity. It ran so terrible. Dude, like you could barely see it. It was so blurry. It was one of the worst performing games I've ever seen on any.
Yeah.
This fixes all that. Performs great. Looks beautiful. Runs a steady frame rate. Tons and tons of enemies on the screen coming at you from every direction. And I love how like they structured the gameplay. I use my hands when I talk like that. I love how they structured the game. How you could like pick different areas and you'd unlock these new characters and you can use those new characters and the progression of the game and like upgrade them and do all this stuff. You could actually, like, I played the game for probably about 25 hours and beat it, but you could play this game for like probably 80 hours, like doing everything there is to do in it. There is so much to do. There's so much side stuff. There's so much like upgraded stuff, characters you can unlock. It's great. It really is probably the best Muso game I've ever played, other than Persona 5 Strikers, which I think that Strikers, we've talked about this. I feel like it's less Muso than all the other Muso games.
Yeah, it's much more
Persona coded. This is purely a Muso game. This is purely a Warriors game for sure. And so I loved my time with it. It's great. Really, really good.
Yeah, I haven't gotten very far in it. I want to go back and I want to beat it, but what I did play, it was just as enjoyable and addicting as I expected. So I would assume seeing it through is totally worth it. I definitely have a problem in these games of wanting to do everything up front because there's so many side paths.
You'll play this game until the end of time.
Yeah. So I need to get better in these games at just like, this one I need to keep my eye on the prize and get through the story for sure. Yeah. All right. Next up on the list, we have East 10 Proud Nordics.
Has anybody else played East 10? Just like East 10 in general? You played it and beat it?
I played regular East 10.
Yeah. I mean, Proud Nordics has some new stuff on it, but like, this is my first time playing East 10 was with Proud Nordics, and I played it on the Switch 2. This is probably, like, just from a Switch 2 standpoint, this is one of the best running games on the Switch 2 console, and it's not even close. It runs at a butter 120 frames per second.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, and I don't think it ran poorly on the Switch.
120?
But I know this is like a huge upgrade, and like Falcom didn't quite make people happy with this because they thought this is initially how the game should have launched, but I'm at least glad there's like an option that's a little bit more enhanced. and can run better on Switch and Nintendo consoles in general.
They really took advantage of it. It's bright, it's colorful, runs smooth. The combat feels amazing. This is like I could not recommend this game higher for fans of the Ys series, because I thought it was so fun. I thought like it was so unique how they handled the combat between the two characters, and how like the contrast between them, and then how you could like use them in combination with each other to like. And some of those boss fights were so fun. Like it's like one of the most unique action RPGs I've ever played. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah, no, Ys is great. I think like if you're just wanting like a solid action RPG experience with like a good story, but it's nothing like crazy complex. It's just like got that JRPG charm. Like Ys 10 is amazing. Like, I mean, it's literally like you're in like a Viking setting. You have a ship, you get to cross the seas to different islands and like fight different battles, and there is an overarching story, and it's just really good. It's just like a classic feel. So I had a lot of fun with it too. I liked the simplicity of it, but also how like the mechanics could get deep, but like the story kind of balanced it out with being like more of a like standard tale. So it was fun.
Yeah, I've played 8 and 9. I have not played 10. When we were at PAX East, I got the collector's edition for Ys 10, thinking it was Proud Nordics, and it wasn't. It was just 10. So yeah, I would like to get to that one at some point, because I love the Ys games. I just, for some reason, I think I was waiting for Proud Nordics, and then when it came out, I was distracted, and so I didn't get to it right away. So I would like to do that. All right. Next up on the list, we have Tales of Berseria. So that came out. This one was interesting because there was a little bit of controversy around this when it was announced, because a lot of people didn't feel like it really needed a remaster. I had not played this game before, so having it available on the Switch and the PS5 seemed perfectly reasonable to me, and it had some of the quality of life features that we got from Tales of Grace's F and some of the other Tales games that have come out recently. So I personally was excited for this one. But Slam, you took a look at this one on the PS5, right?
Yep. And Tales of Berseria is one of my favorite Tales games, if not my favorite. That one and Vesperia probably bounce between those two. Looks, plays, runs great on the PS5. It's Tales of Berseria as you remember it, just a little bit better.
Yeah. Now on the Switch, it played better as I moved forward, but I have to admit the first impression for the first area was not good. The first area has got a lot of like trees and shadows. It's very like fall-ish in that area. It's a beautiful area, or it should be, but when you're like running around and you're seeing shadows on the ground that are all pixelated and things like that, it was just like, ooh, this does not look good. I did push through that, and as I continued moving forward, it got better and better, and I wasn't really noticing it anymore. But that's the problem with some of these things, is like first impressions can have such a massive impact on how you view the game. And I was tempted to drop it, honestly, because I was just like, this is so, I'm not usually that picky about visuals. I mean, I play retro games a lot, but there was something about that I just felt like, oh, I got the nasty version. Like I should have got the PS5 version. And as I push through it, it's like, okay, no, you still get the benefit of playing on the Switch, and it's still really good. I think it's locked at 30 FPS. But eventually it kind of panned out and worked out in a way that was good. So I still think it's worth checking out in general if you've never played this game. But keep that in mind if you're considering Switch versus PS5. The PS5 version is going to look and play much, much better. The Switch will eventually feel better, but up front you might feel like this doesn't look as good as I'd like. And I don't think there's a Switch 2 upgrade for this one, correct?
There's not, but I'm holding out hope that there will be at some point, because with a lot of these Tales remasters, it's mainly just PS5 and Switch. And so I just wonder if like a lot of it is just being prioritized for Switch, and then maybe like they'll come back and do upgrades later after they've had the dev kits a bit longer and can put some time into those ports.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I mean, that would be really great. I'll definitely be there if there's a Switch 2 upgrade for sure. And to be fair, I played the Switch version on the Switch 2, and for some games that can mess with things, so I didn't test it on an OG Switch. It's possible it wouldn't have looked as bad on the OG Switch. I don't know.
Well, and the handheld boost feature, I don't know if you played it after that had been implemented, but I wonder if that makes a difference.
I played before it.
Okay.
Yeah, it might. Yeah. It might.
So it might make it look a little better, at least in handheld. Yeah. Sometimes with Switch games, handheld will look better than docked if it's got the boost enabled for handheld.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's a great game. It's a great Tales game in general. So definitely worth checking out. But Slam, I know you're very excited about this one. We got Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. So take it away, pal.
I love Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. This was actually one of the first games I ever reviewed on my channel way back in the day when it first came out. I loved it then, played it obsessively, probably put like 50 or 60 hours into it. The main story is a short one. It's a good like 10 to 15 hours probably. You can beat it pretty quick. But the real game starts when you beat the main story and you start like doing all of the post-game stuff, and that's where the game really shines. And the Endless Ragnarok content is more like post-game content. So I still haven't even got to the Endless Ragnarok content yet. I've just been grinding. I got it on Switch too, so I was playing through like the main. You have to start over. I was playing through like the main story again, and like because this is the type of game I want on a handheld because it is very, like. It's like an action game that you can grind. It's not like super story heavy, but like you can put a ton of hours. You could lose a ton of hours to this one. So I really wanted it on a handheld device. So that's where I got it. But yeah, really love that game. Highly recommend it.
All right. Next up, we have the Tales of Arise Switch 2 version. So all of us here have played Tales of Arise. We all enjoyed Tales of Arise, but the Switch 2 version brings it to handheld. And Slam, I think you spent some time playing that one in handheld specifically, yeah?
I went back to it because I actually really love Tales of Arise. And when it came to Switch 2, I was like, oh, yeah, good opportunity for me to kind of check this game out again. And I still love it so much. And it performs really, really well on the Switch 2. So, yeah, if Tales of Arise is a game you haven't played yet and you have a Switch 2, it's a great place to play it. Runs really well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was exciting to see that kind of stuff come too. I remember Tales of Arise was
I love seeing all the ports, man. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was the first RPG I got on the PS5 when the PS5 came out. Like I had Spider-Man. That was like the game to get when the PS5 first came out. But I think Tales of Arise was the first major JRPG that I picked up for it. So it's cool seeing it come to the Switch. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to seeing whatever Tales games are going to be coming next. So
yeah, Eternia is coming next, right?
That I'm very excited about.
Yeah, yes, that's exciting.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad to see that that's actually coming. Mm-hmm. So, and I'd love to see more of that. But I'd also I love the remasters, but after Tales of Arise, I am curious what the Tales series is going to bring to the table. So very curious about that. And I would assume, given the support for the Switch 2, we'll probably see it day one, unlike what we had last time with Tales of Arise. We'll find out.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Next one, Mags, I'm going to throw this one over to you, is Monster Hunter Stories 3. I know both of you guys played that and really enjoyed it, but why don't you give us your take?
Yeah. I was super excited when this was announced. I believe it was at a Direct last year. It was one of the first games announced, I think, for Nintendo Switch 2 at like a dedicated Switch 2 Direct. And I loved the other Stories games, but this one I feel like just takes that series to a whole other level. The Stories has always been kind of like a spin-off from the main Monster Hunter games. It's more of like a JRPG. It's turn-based. It has monster collecting mechanics. And I feel like this one really took a step up in terms of presentation. Like it just looks beautiful. It almost feels like it's less cartoony. Like I feel like the first two were more in like a cartoon-esque art style, and this feels just more like an actual like JRPG style. So it has that. It also has just a more mature story and a more involved story, I think, that has a lot of highs and lows as you go through it. And so it just kind of feels like Capcom is like really fleshing this sub-series out to be its own thing. And with each new entry, it gets more and more of its own identity. And 3 is really where I felt like, okay, this is like a legitimate like series for them now. It's separate from Monster Hunter. It still has some Monster Hunter elements. It still has obviously like the monsters, the crafting, the different materials you use to make armor and weapons, and how like with each area the monsters become more powerful and then you get better gear. So like those systems are still in place, but it just feels more like a traditional JRPG at the same time. And so I loved that. I wanted it to have a better and deeper story. I like that it kind of had some really emotional beats with the characters. And yeah, it's just been really cool to see it evolve. And I'm excited to see what they do next because this was just such a strong entry overall.
Yeah. I mean, I echo all that. I agree. I think it's interesting seeing all of like the Monster Hunter elements being put into a JRPG like this. And I think there's some good aspects to that and some aspects to it I didn't care for too much. I just didn't think that some of the like Monster Hunter like mechanics didn't fit well into the more JRPG package of gameplay systems. So overall, I really enjoyed my time with it. I think it was a good time. It was a fun game. Definitely a huge improvement over Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2. They went all out with this one. So
they did. And I think it's a worthy step forward.
What would you give it out of 10?
I gave it a 9 out of 10 when I reviewed it in Nintendo Force.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That's a good score. I'd probably give it an 8.
Okay. I'd give it I haven't played it out of 10.
Yeah, I just think for the series, like it was just such a big step forward.
Huge, yeah.
And I just had a lot of fun with it.
That's awesome. I love that. Speaking of Capcom, we're about to talk about one of the most impressive JRPGs that we have seen this year, and that's Resident Evil 9. Yeah. Take it away, Slam. Take it, buddy.
Yeah, listen. I know. We love JRPGs here, and the greatest JRPG ever told probably is Resident Evil 9. And all right, in all seriousness, this is my game of the year this year so far. I've played a lot of games. I've played and finished most games that have came out this year. This game is stellar. It is so good. So I won't dive into it too deeply because this is a running bit. Eventually, Mags is going to play Resident Evil 9. I know that. So be on the lookout.
Yeah. We've had some comments on this show from people who were genuinely concerned that we thought Resident Evil 9 was a JRPG. It's a bit, my friends. It's a bit.
Yeah.
Join the Discord. You'll find there are many, many other bits as well. So, all right. But back to actual JRPGs. Since Slam isn't much of a tactics guy, I'm going to throw this over to Mags. But Mags, you played Path of Radiance for the first time. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. So give us your take on that.
That's right. So this one landed on Nintendo Switch Online this year, which was super cool.
Awesome. Yeah,
super cool. I hope that we get more and more games on this platform, I guess. It's just, I feel like it's such a good deal. Like, it doesn't cost like that much per year, and you get access to all these games. And I hope Nintendo continues to add more JRPGs to it specifically. But yeah,
because these games are expensive if you have to get the originals.
Yeah, and it can be tough to play if you don't own a console to play them. So this is really cool. I was super excited because Fire Emblem is one of those series, like, I've enjoyed every Fire Emblem game that I've played, and I'd really like to just kind of see more of the series, especially the older ones, because like obviously whenever a new one comes out, I play it at release and I get through it, but you have to be able to like backtrack and see where the series has come from and how it's kind of evolved into what it is now. So I really loved Path of Radiance because I just thought it did like the staples of Fire Emblem so well. Like, you had an engaging story that was really like, woven into the gameplay segments super well. And I felt like the map variety was good. The characters were great. Ike is the man. He's just a good dude. Like, I love that guy. He's just so no nonsense.
I love that guy.
I do. Because he's just so real. Like, he sees all this stuff happening in the story and he's just like, okay, but like, we got to fix this. Like, this is dumb.
Like, why are you being dumb? I don't care who you are. You're being dumb.
Like, he doesn't care if this is like a king or a queen or what. Like, he's just like, no, this is like silly. Why are we doing this? And he just gets things done. And so I totally respect him. I just thought it was just such a solid game from start to finish. I loved the combat. I loved the overall story. I really enjoyed a lot of the characters. The only thing that I didn't love was that the supports were limited for each character.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really see how all these relationships fleshed out. Like, once you had hit like a certain number, you couldn't see any more for a particular character.
You can only do 5 total. So you could do 1 A support and 1 B support, and that was it.
Yeah,
but that also had the issue where if you were curious and you had like 3 C supports, that means you couldn't A support with anybody. So that limitation was frustrating in that game.
Yeah, and I didn't know that going into it, so I was just kind of like doing supports willy-nilly, and then I was like, oh no, I can't actually do any more. Like, I'm just kind of stuck. So that was a bummer, and I'm glad that that's something that's kind of been taken away as the series has gone on. But I do think Path of Radiance, like, this game truly stands the test of time. Like, if you want to play more of Fire Emblem, like, this is the perfect game to play. It's not super long. It's got a solid story. The combat variety is really good. It's solid, but it's also just not going to be a super daunting experience either. Like, I think it took me like maybe 35 to 40 hours to play, which is, I feel like pretty reasonable when you think about JRPG playtime. So yeah, I had a great time with this one.
Yeah, the daunting experience is Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn King. Yeah.
I've heard, and I got the joke, but I do want to play that. I really hope it comes to NSO at some point.
Yeah, if they can get some Wii games coming, that would be really amazing. That game is so, like, jokes aside about being daunting, like, that game is actually, at least from the North American releases, the hardest Fire Emblem game.
That's what I've heard. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, people shouldn't feel like weenies if they go on easy mode, because easy mode is like Fire Emblem Path of Radiance's hard mode is, I think, the equivalent of easy or normal. Like, it was something like that, where it was a step up, and that one's a challenge. I also just want to say, like, in general, if anybody is interested in Fire Emblem, they have Fire Emblem 7 and Fire Emblem Sacred Stones on the Game Boy Advance for NSO. And you guys know me by now. I'm a huge Fire Emblem fan. Those games also absolutely stand the test of time. They are fantastic games. They're so fun. They're so addicting. Absolutely love them both. I personally love the original in North America more than Sacred Stones. But you can't go wrong with either of them. Sacred Stones is incredibly fun to play. My hang up with Sacred Stones is that the villain is an idiot. And they want you to feel bad for him, but he's like, I'm gonna play with the devil to heal people, and it's like, bro, that doesn't sound like a good idea. It's like, oh, it'll be fine, and then you see how that works out in the game. So anyway, all of those games are fantastic, but I'm glad you got to play Path of Radiance, and I hope to hear you playing those other ones as well.
Oh amazing. Yeah. No, I really like to, because I definitely want to see what the earlier games were like. So
yeah,
they're on the list.
Word. All right, speaking of retro games, we got Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch 2 this year as well, which everybody would have loved to have a physical copy of that. And it's a bummer that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company didn't decide to do that. However, it is pretty freaking cool to play those games on the Switch 2. I know, Mags, you played Leaf Green, yeah? And I played Fire Red. Slam, which one did you started one, yeah?
Yeah, I played Fire Red.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't finish it, but yeah, I started it.
Yeah, I haven't finished it either, but it was so fun to go back.
Yeah.
Like just to go back to Kanto and like kind of like retrace my steps like through this experience. And I forgot how good Fire Red and Leaf Green look too, just compared to what Gen 1 looked like when it first released. Like this is just a perfect like way to experience it. It looks so nice.
Yeah. I have a confession. After our Pokemon tier list debacle of everybody having strong opinions. After playing through Fire Red again, like I might have shifted my position on where it lands with the originals. I really do think it is the best iteration of the originals. There's still things about it that I think the originals do better. So we talked about like on the Pokemon ranking show, how the originals like brilliantly set up like easy, normal, and hard mode with how you choose the starters. And so there's some design brilliance there that they take away in Yellow and Fire Red and Leaf Green. But what they add to Fire Red and Leaf Green is so good, and they absolutely maintain the integrity of the original concept that I think Gen 1 probably does the best, of going off the beaten trail, finding some of those rare mons, and if you invest time into it, being able to walk away with some insane party members, or an insane team, right? And this run through for me, it was the first time. So I always get like a Nidoking. I always try to get an Alakazam, stuff like that. But this is the first time I decided to fully invest in a Dratini. And I never played through that in the originals, because by that part in the game, you know, when I was a kid, my Charizard was like already level 80. And I'm like, I don't care enough to level up Dratini. But Dratini is another example of this concept, because Dratini is super weak, Dragonair is super weak, and then you get Dragonite, and Dragonite is unbelievably stupidly powerful. But it takes a long time to get it to evolve. And so I don't know, I just walked away from Fire Red being like, all right, I might have spoken a little bit too harshly on these ones, because they are really, really good. And there's like extra content added in there with like some of the extra islands at the end that they add in. They're just really freaking good. If you're looking for like a classic Pokemon experience, it's hard to beat Fire Red and Leaf Green. Nintendo would love a physical, like if we actually had cartridges of these games again, that would be unbelievable. Like you guys could make some stupid money. People would double dip so fast for something like that, even though everybody's, bought the digitals. I don't know if they ever will, but hope springs eternal and all that. So maybe one day, but
maybe.
Pretty cool to see some classic Pokemon games show up on the Switch 2 either way. All right. Next up, and we're almost at the end of the list here, we got Starbites. Where are you guys at on Starbites?
I think me and Mags, and we talked about this before, but I think we both land at like the exact same spot on this game.
We do, yeah.
Which is like, it's decent. It has like a lot of really good elements to it. I like the combat, has nice, like interesting elements to it that are borrowed from some, modern turn-based systems.
Yeah.
I don't like all the backtracking that seems to be there to kind of pad time for the game. like you have to go through a dungeon and then back through the dungeon, like whenever you finish it, which That's whole entire thing, which is like a maze. Some of the designs of like the areas get a little daunting because they get a little repetitive. The story is cool. I like the characters. I like how they interact with each other. I like some of the dialogue and stuff like that. I think ultimately, by the time I was finished with it, I wasn't like itching for more star bites. But I ultimately had a good time with it. I probably land somewhere around a 7 for it.
Yeah. I landed at a 7 as well. And the thing is, I think this game like has a lot of potential. Like I really did enjoy the combat. I really enjoyed the characters, especially the lead, Lukita. She just was so much fun. She was goofy, but she also had a really like interesting story significance as you play through the game. And so it just felt like this was kind of like a rough draft. Yeah. And I would love to see the next game, like the next JRPG from these developers, because I really think they have a lot of good stuff. I just think they need another game to really refine the elements that they had. And honestly, playing Starbites too, I kind of got the sense that like they had set a lot of stuff up that wasn't resolved. Not that like the ending wasn't satisfying, but like that they could have really continued some of the story threads that they had set up. So I hope we see something from them. I would definitely check it out, even though I'm kind of like, in the middle on Starbites. I do also want to say that when I got my code, it was for the Switch version, and it does look kind of rough. But they recently offered an upgrade pack for Switch 2 for like $5, and the game looks incredible there. So if you've not played it yet, like I would highly recommend playing it on Switch 2 because the game looks and runs so much better. And I really wish that like I'd had that experience when I played it at launch.
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't they say that someone was saying that they like seem to be setting up lore, characters, universe for something bigger?
That's
Do you think they'll follow through with that?
It probably just depends on how well this game does. Because it's a smaller team. I think it's a smaller studio that put this together. And so I hope that it's sold enough to where they're able to continue it, because the way that it felt like finishing the game, I'm just like, there's more here. Like this could be a whole universe if they wanted it to be. But in like the first like entry point game, you can't go too far. So I wish them the best. And like, I would definitely check out a game that comes after it if they make it.
Yeah. All right. Next up, we have the Xenoblade Chronicles Switch 2 edition. Slam, you dove right into that one, yeah?
Yep. Loved it. I think these are huge upgrades for these games. And like right while we were doing this podcast, they dropped the trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 edition. And I love seeing all the love they're getting. I love the extra additions that they added, like the little racing game they added to Xenoblade Chronicles, and like the bike for exploration and stuff. Cool. So cool. It looks gorgeous. The 4K, like the 4K resolution, like bump in frame rate, how everything just like looks and feels. This is 100% the best way to play this game. And I can't wait for Xenoblade 2 and 3, man, to get this treatment. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, the trailer dropped for the second one while we were filming, so it looks incredible. It looks great.
Too. They're adding more stuff. What are they gonna add to 3, guys? What are they gonna add to 3?
I'm scared that it's gonna be like so good that I'm gonna jump back into that game.
You're gonna have to drop everything and play Xenoblade.
I can't do that again. I spent like 150 hours on that game.
Oh, they're so good though. If I'm gonna spend that much time on another game, like it's funny how
tier.
Yeah,
like when I'm playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition on the Switch 2, honestly, sometimes it's hard for me to go play the other stuff because I'm like, this game is just that good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would rather replay like one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Than play a lot of the stuff that exists right now. So when Xenoblade 3 comes out, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, because like what else compares? Like not much.
Not a lot.
So
yeah, with 1 and 2, it's going to be a struggle. I got the physical edition, so right now in my mind, I'm like, well, it's coming later, so I can wait. But every time I see this new information and stuff, I'm like, oh, it's so good. I love these games. I want to jump in. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm excited for the physical editions of these. I am a little confused about Torna and where Torna sits with 2.
Where is
and future redeemed with 3, like that's going to be an issue there too, probably. So because that was a season pass, you could only get future redeemed if you purchased a season pass to Xenoblade 3. So I don't know how they're going to do that either. But
and it doesn't seem like they're putting Torna on the Xenoblade 2 cartridge, which makes me concerned that Future Redeemed will also not be on the Xenoblade 3 cartridge, which would suck because like that would be such a good opportunity to just be like, hey guys, you now have it all physically, because Future Redeemed is still the only one that doesn't have a physical representation. And Future Redeemed was really freaking good. So
it's the best
time will tell,
out of all of the expansions that they've done by far. So it'd be nice if it was on cart.
Yeah. All right. I added in here a couple that we played that are older games, so I'll just like say them all at once and then we can chat about them. I played through and beat The Legend of Dragoon this year, and Slam beat Cold Steel, Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, and is working on Cold Steel 3. I had a blast with Legend of Dragoon. It is definitely crusty and old, and there are elements of it that do not hold up well at all. The translation is horrendous in that game. Like there's so much like lore and potential and storytelling in there that just gets kind of destroyed and muddled from the translation. But like overall, I think for me, I still had so much fun with it. Like they nailed the progression aspect of, what you want from a JRPG. So like the leveling up, the additions, like how you build your party, all of those kinds of things remained addicting. And I had a really good time with those. And the way it ended was actually really fire. So like when I was getting up to the final part of the ending, I was like, I don't know, like there are elements of the story that are not hitting for me the way that I hope that they would. And I'm not sure how I'm going to feel by the end of this game. And then the ending sequence, I was like, okay, well, this is pretty freaking cool. Like I'm going to give it to them. They really wrapped this up in a way that was incredible. So overall, it's like, it's a weird place to be in because I loved it. And it's the first time I beat it. I've played Legend of Dragoon like 3 or 4 times. This is the first time I saw it all the way through to the end. And that's because when I first played it, like I had issues with the disc on my PS2 Slim. For some reason, it like wasn't loading. And so I never got through it that way. And then when I picked it up again, it was usually like digitally on whatever, the PSP, the Vita, something like that. And I just didn't commit to seeing it all the way through. So having seen it all the way through, I'm glad I did. I loved it. I had a great time. It would be a hard recommend for me to someone who doesn't have nostalgia for the game, because there's just so much of it that, like, we're probably never going to see a remake for this game. And even if we did now, with Sony's stupid decision, we probably wouldn't have a physical copy of it, which is terrible. So I don't know if there was some magical world where Legend of Dragoon rights could be sold to, I don't know, Monolith Soft or something. We could get something really freaking cool, but that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, overall, really enjoyed it. It was a good time. I'm glad that I did that. And if anybody is ever curious about that game, I still think it's worth playing. You just need to know that when you get into it, there's going to be some crustiness to it, and the translations are going to be a little bit baffling at times. So, but Slam, you did Trails Cold Steel 1 and 2. You're working through 3. How you feeling, buddy?
Hey, look, I'm fully invested now. Like I'm all in. I'm Trails obsessed. I was a little bit iffy on Cold Steel 1. I had some issues with that until like the last probably 20 hours or so. I was like, okay, now I'm bought in. I get where this is going, and I'm really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
But going from Azure, which is one of my all-time favorite games, period, full stop, to Cold Steel 1 was very jarring and hard for me to get my head around the difference in like overall experience. Cold Steel 2, great, loved it. And Cold Steel 3 has been phenomenal from start all the way till now, which I'm like around 30 hours in. Graphic, presentation, music, everything is improved. The UI is great. The like story, oh man, where some of the things that are happening, like it just seems I can't put it down. This is like a good book, a series that I can't get enough of, like something that like I feel like I have to binge because I can't stop watching it, you know, up all hours of the night trying to like just see where things go. And it's just consistently getting better. So Cold Steel 3's pacing is easily the best in the series, in the Cold Steel arc so far. So over 1, 2, like 3, the pacing is stellar. Loving Cold Steel very, very much.
Yay. Oh, it warms my heart to hear it. I'm so happy. Yeah, I mean, the Cold Steel arc, there's just so much that happens. There's so many characters, so many storylines. Like it gets crazy, especially as you make your way towards Cold Steel 3. So I can't wait to see how you react to what's to come. So,
you know, and it's so interesting what Trails does better than probably any series out there is just like the relationship and fondness you build with these characters over time. And for me, I've spent the majority of this year playing Cold Steel. I put hundreds of hours into that this arc this year. And Cold Steel 3 is really like a eye-opening from that aspect, that perspective, because as they start like showing you the characters that you know and love, and you come in, it's hype. You're just like, yes, I've been waiting for this moment.
Yeah,
I've been trying so hard to be patient, and finally it's happening. And the way they like introduce these characters and like the assumption that you know everything up to this point is so good. It is like a risk that they have done, because you can't appeal to people that will, like the mass majority of people that will jump into Cold Steel 3 on a whim without playing any other Trails game, because you'd be completely lost in the sauce. Okay.
Yeah.
So I love that they assume that you've done the work, right? That you've put in the effort, that you've played these other games before, because most games don't do that. You know, they'll introduce these characters like, okay, well, here's their backstory and here's everything they've done up to this point. Now the story can go. No, Trails doesn't do that. Like they just get right into it, and you know, like all the things are happening around them as they're introducing them, and like they just assume that you've been there, you know, with them the whole time. And I love that. I think it just like adds to the overall immersion, and it rewards your commitment. So
for sure. Yeah, they don't really hold your hand at this point. They're like, all right, they've made it this far into the series, they should know what's happening. So yeah, and I feel like Cold Steel 3 really starts to culminate there, because you have a lot of characters from other games show up.
Yep.
And you're like, oh,
and that's
I
real good
that.
too.
Yeah,
that's real good too. I don't even want to get into, but like they're calling way back in Cold Steel 3. Like if you jumped in at Cold Steel, like I felt like Cold Steel 1 and 2, you're totally fine to play.
Yeah,
just the Cold Steel arc, but 3, like it. Like you should like if you've played through Cold Steel 2 and you're like, oh, I'm going to jump straight into Cold Steel 3. I haven't played Sky. I haven't played Crossbell. Go back and play those first. Yeah, for real, because some stuff's going to get spoiled for you. You get introduced to characters. Like there's a whole lot of really, really relevant stuff from the earlier games that's happening in Cold Steel 3 that make it just so far easily the best Cold Steel game. And honestly, one of the best Trails games so far. I mean, I can't say for sure because I'm not even halfway through the game, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I love hearing that. Good stuff.
All right. Well, these last two, I don't know if they're going to have the same kind of enthusiasm. I should just save that for the end. But next up on the list, we got Neo 3. and it's not technically an RPG, right? But we figured it's like adjacent-ish. So,
and I'm a big like Souls-like fan. You know, like I play all these games: Lies of P, Code Vein, Neo, all the Dark Souls, and Elden Ring. I love these games. Like when I'm looking for a really gameplay forward, like focused experience where like I'm gonna get my teeth kicked in and I know it. These are the games I love to play. They're super, super rewarding, and I think Neo 3 is one of the best. It might be the best Souls-like. Period. Like the best like Souls-like that's not like a Souls game. It's so good. The combat is much like faster paced, but like the customization and like, man, this is real RPG stuff. Like you can do some like real good
myself. Like it's not a JRPG, but it is an RPG. Yeah.
You can do some real like min-maxing work here. The boss fights are incredible, larger than life. It's Neo 3 is unbelievable. It is a really, really good game, and I think it like kind of gets slept on this year. It got rave reviews. I think like it got an incredibly high Metacritic score, but like I feel like people have kind of just like forgot about it. It's an amazing game. You know, if you like Souls games, you like Souls likes, and if you even like enjoyed your time with Neo and Neo 2, Neo 3 is an easy win.
Yeah, dude, it got an 86. That's
is
pretty
impressive.
Freaking high. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Nice. Love that. All right. And the last one on this list before we get into the Slam Zany Q and ASMR, stick around for that one, is Tokyo Xanadu. And Mags, that's all you, because you decided to pick that one up this year and prep for Kyoto Xanadu, right?
Yeah, that was the plan because we thought that Kyoto Xanadu was going to release this year. And now we're not really sure when it's coming out at all. But you know what? I don't regret playing Tokyo Xanadu. I had it in my backlog anyway, and I was just like, maybe this is a good time because then I can get some context as to what this game is before Kyoto Xanadu comes out. So I really liked it. It was kind of a different direction that Falcom went. Like they had a modern day setting in Tokyo. They kind of fused elements of Ys and Trails to kind of create this hybrid experience. You had more of like Ys style combat, right? It was action, real-time combat. There was a little bit of platforming. It wasn't good, but it was there.
It wasn't. It really wasn't.
It was bad. That was like my biggest criticism. Most of the game was really fun. So you had that, but then you had more of the Trails style, like character interaction, and elements where like you could explore certain areas in Tokyo, talk to NPCs, have bonding events with like your side characters in the party. And so that was very much Trails-esque. And so I really liked it because I thought it really fused all of these things well. The game was pretty well paced overall. I think I finished it in like maybe 50 something hours, which felt like a good length for the story that they were trying to tell. I really enjoyed the characters. I thought that the main cast, like they all gelled well together. I really liked the lead protagonist, and overall, like it was just fun. Like it was just a good, solid JRPG, and it's Falcom, so I knew I was going to love it regardless. So yeah, and it makes me excited for Kyoto Xanadu because from what I've heard about the game so far, it builds upon some of those concepts, but it also kind of is its own thing. And it looks better and kind of plays better because they're utilizing their new engine, whereas Tokyo Xanadu was built with the engine for Cold Steel. So so it was overall really solid, and I do recommend it, especially if you're a Falcom fan.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll find some information about Kyoto Xanadu at some point.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I think at this point, since we don't have any updates, it's probably going to be next year. And so with that in mind, I just hope it doesn't release around Final Fantasy VII Revelation or Xenoblade Genesis. Just stay far away from those two games. Far away. Like, I hope it will release during like a lull at some point next year.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is the list of all of the JRPGs / some additions there that we have played in 2026 so far with all of our thoughts. Let us know in the comments what you guys have played, if we missed any games or if there's anything you want to have represented. But we want to move into our member Q&A. We are making a little bit of changes here because we've had a ton of questions come in. It's been amazing. So we're going to take some of the questions and answer them, and then we're going to split them out on another episode so that we can cover everything and make sure we answer your questions. We also answered some of these on the pre-show. So if you are not a member, we would love for you to join us and support us here on the Level Up Legacy podcast. Shout outs to the members. We got a whole bunch of new members. You get access to all of our pre-shows, and there is hundreds of hours of ridiculous, insane, chaotic content that you'll have access to immediately when you join that tier to get access to the pre-show. You can join in the Discord for free if you just want to be a part of our community and join in some of the chaos, get some of those bits that we have been rolling around with for a while. It is the greatest Discord ever told. So with all of that said, this week we had a request for Slam to read off the questions. And we all know that Slam has the ASMR grovelly voice. So we have entitled this section the Slam Zany Q and ASMR. So Slam, buddy, take it away.
I'll do my best. All right,
boy. Let's
There
go.
he is.
Oh, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, son.
Come on, son.
All right. First up, that's bread.
Oh, we love bread.
That's bread.
Shout
we
outs.
love bread here. What
We love bread
kind of
here on this
sandwich? We like
podcast.
sandwiches. I just
We
had
do
a
like
peanut butter and
sandwiches.
jelly sandwich last night.
Oh, dude.
What kind of
PB&Js are
sandwiches
so
do you
good,
guys
man.
like?
I had a turkey sandwich for lunch today, y'all.
Turkey sandwich?
It was so
Amazing.
freaking good.
I love
Yeah.
turkey.
Dude, BLTs, man, or just like some sandwiches that have like a bunch of ham and I had like a spicy ham sandwich this week. It
Ooh,
was
that
so
sounds good.
freaking good. Yeah,
Spicy
love that.
ham. You know what? Sometimes I like to take like ham deli meat, put it in the pan with some butter, put some cheese on there, melt it, put it on some
Yo.
toast. Guys, really good sandwich.
Heck
Okay.
yeah. Make
Get
a
it done.
grilled cheese, but
Hello.
with like meat on it too.
Yep.
Dang,
Like you can put
son.
your cheese, your meat, and then like butter the sides of the bread and put it in a pan.
Yeah, okay.
Get your
I see
sandwich,
you.
Get your,
I see
get
you
your
too.
sandwich games up.
That's
That's
right.
what I'm
see you
talking
too.
about, man.
Yep.
Some delicious stuff. All right. Question. Hey, guys. I hope you have had a good week. I'll get straight into it. I love to see an abundance of accessibility options for players in any game I play. Anything that helps people be able to play games who might not be able to get through the traditional means. That might not be able to through traditional means can only be a good thing.
Mhm.
So my question is, assuming access to resources wasn't an issue and any options will be included seamlessly, what accessibility options would you like to see included in games? I would include an option that adjusts text and dialogue to suit the player's reading level. So many people around the world struggle with reading for a variety of reasons, and having options that'll help those people engage with games easier while hopefully providing a way to improve their own reading ability. It's a great one.
Yeah, I kind of love that.
Yeah, I love that too. One thing that immediately came to mind for me was just like having a game in like as many languages as possible. Because I know that with a lot of games, there are several language options, but there's still also just a lot that aren't even represented at all. So I just think that like if cost and resources weren't an issue, like to just have games be available in as many languages that, you know, you can read as possible so that, you know, the maximum amount of people can enjoy them and just take in the story in their own native tongue. So I think that would be really cool. And then one other thing, just because it's kind of like in my work sphere right now, we're having to do a lot of adjustments for ADA compliance because I work for a local government. And a lot of people utilize screen readers if they have a vision impairment. And so I think if like games were able to be played with the use of that somehow to like allow folks who may not be able to see super well still enjoy the game and get the context needed to enjoy the game, I think that would be pretty cool as well.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm going to go with a selfish option here, and that is I'd love to see more options for colorblind people. I do have color blindness. It's relatively minor. Like my grandpa couldn't tell the difference between a red and a blue sock, so I'm not that bad. But there have definitely been some games where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna die on this boss because they'll be like the environment or the markers where they're about to hit or something are hard for me to see, and it's difficult to pull that off. And there are some games that are very fast paced, where it's just really hard to keep up and see that and process all of that when there are some color issues. Some games have implemented some of those things, or they have just steered clear from some of the colors that have an issue. But that would be something that I would say can be helpful, especially when you're playing, again, those more fast-paced games. So that's my take.
Yeah, I love those answers. I think like a wider range of controller input options is really important, I think, for a wide variety of people with accessibility needs. And I think that's improved a lot recently with the various different like types of controller options and the different supports, even for consoles. But I'd like to continue to see that improve over time and just allow a lot more people to be able to play games.
Heck yeah, that's what we want.
Right?
Everybody playing games.
Let's go.
Next question. Who's ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Were you born ready? That's the question.
No,
I'm kidding. That wasn't the question. All right. Kasam Shear. Hi. Love the show. Y'all the best. What's your favorite ice cream flavor and why? Tiger ice cream here. All the best and congrats on the 2K subs after this episode hits. Let's go.
Hopefully. Yeah,
I think we're going to make it. I think we're going to make it, y'all.
Okay, I do too. What is Tiger ice cream?
I know. I was wondering that too. Like, can we find that out first? Because, like, what is that?
Yeah, let's look that up. Never heard of it.
It looks delicious.
Tiger ice cream.
It's a Canadian orange flavored ice cream with black licorice swirl.
Black licorice with orange is an interesting...
that's why it's called Tiger ice cream. Because it looks like a tiger.
I'll tell you what my favorite ice cream flavor is. It's mint chip.
Mint chip, dude. Classic.
I love mint flavored ice cream. Dude, I like mint flavored anything. Let's just be real. I don't know what it is, but I love mint.
So what you're saying is you are a mint type of guy. You're a mint guy.
Mint type of guy. I'm a mint guy. Yeah, I'm a mint. I love some mint chip.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I would have to go with peanut butter.
Just straight peanut butter?
I could do peanut butter ice cream. I could do chocolate peanut butter ice cream. Yeah. I love those flavors in like anything. And I want to give a shout out to one other flavor because I have some friends in town that own 2 ice cream shops and their ice cream is like incredible. And they have this flavor where they will take vanilla ice cream and put like chocolate cake in it and like blend it together.
Yeah.
It's like the best.
Let's go.
So
they had those in Chicago. Like there's a place called Portillo's and they had a cake shake and they would
I love Portillo's.
Yeah, dude. Freaking
and
love
they make the cake like homemade just to put in their ice cream.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Shout out to the Sugar Queen.
Slam, we're doing a live show with Mags. We're going to go to Knoxville and we're going to get some of this good stuff because that sounds amazing. That's reason enough to go. Mags was already reason, but like Mags plus like a cake shake, like come on.
Plus cake ice cream.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Oh, okay. Here's my struggle. My struggle is when you ask me to pick a favorite for something when I have a variety of favorites, it's hard for me to nail it down to one. This is, you'd think that's ironic given the fact that I often have to choose favorites in this show and other contexts for YouTube. But oh man. if I had to pick one, if I had to pick only one, I'd say probably like a good, like Ben and Jerry's has this flavor called milk and cookies. It's like the best version of cookies and cream, in my opinion, that you can have. I really love that. But I love weird combinations of things in general. Like I love peach ice cream during the summer, and this is going to be gross to somebody, I'm sure. When I was a kid, we used to get peaches, and then for some reason, my dad would take us to KFC, and they had like chocolate pudding, and I would like mix it together. And I really like the combination of chocolate and peaches, or chocolate and fruit in general. So when it's like peach season, which it is right now, like I'll often go and get peach ice cream with like a dark chocolate ice cream, and then throw in some like chocolate chips or sprinkles or something. And that combination is so good to me. I love that combination. So that's my double answer. Yeah.
There you go.
Sounds sick.
Yeah. Super sick. All right, Slam. You got one more,
right?
Right?
Ready? No,
Yeah,
two more.
Two more.
Two more,
baby. Next up, Trevor Young.
Trevor Young. Shout outs.
Shout out. Trevor.
Hey. Hope everyone is doing well. This is more of a statement rather than a question. But I asked it on the JRPG Pursuit podcast and a while back, and wanted to share it with you as well.
Okay.
Do you ever feel extra weight from certain games in your backlog over others? For myself, I find that anything I've previously started and left unfinished for whatever reason always remains as an open loop in my mind.
I get that.
On the flip side, any games which I've purchased and left untouched don't weigh me down at all. They're simply exciting new experiences for the future. Since early 2025, I made it my goal to prioritize the stories I left untold, and it's really elevated my love for gaming, all while making great progress on the backlog. I really appreciate everything you do. Your positive vibes and fun banter have made this my go-to podcast. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's so
really
sweet.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And this specific question or statement is extremely relatable for me.
Yeah.
When I start a game and then like move on to the next thing, and I made a bunch of progress in the other game, I'm like, man, I feel like I have to drop it forever now. I'll never go back to it because like I don't know what happened before. I don't know where I was at in the game. I forgot some mechanics, whatever. And then I have a hard time going back and finishing it. And I find myself like restarting a lot of games because of that. I'll be like, oh, I'll get back to that later. And then I'll restart it. And it becomes like, so my solution for the problem actually for myself, which isn't the greatest one, especially when it comes to JRPGs that are hundreds of hours of gameplay, is to just go restart the game. Some games I have like a window where it's like, if I can go back to it within like a month or two and really commit to it, then I'm fine. I like kind of put like one or two games like on the back burner. I review games for my channel, and so I have a commitment to like play new stuff a lot. So there's a lot of times where I do have to put something I really want to play on the back burner and return to it later. Trails of Cold Steel, for example, where I started Cold Steel 3, got like 15 or so hours in, 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go back to this. And if I know I'm going back to this, I actually do like take notes, believe it or not. Like I literally write down a bunch of stuff. Like, this is what happened. This is where I'm at in the game. This is the stuff I need to do still. Like I literally write it down. But like I said, I don't do that for every game because I'm just not 100% sure if I'm going back to it or not. I kind of like have a commitment to Cold Steel and Trails to like finish this series and get caught up. So that one specifically is like, yeah, I'm committed. But a lot of the time, I mean, these games just get left in the dust. And I think what you said is so perfect because I feel the same exact way where you're like, the ones you left untouched don't weigh you down at all. They're like just experiences that you'll have later that are going to be great when you get to them. I feel the same way for sure. So yeah, Great question. Honestly, really like that one.
Yeah, for sure. I think for me, it's a little bit of the same. And so that's why, for the most part, I try to finish a game like right after I've started it, as long as nothing's getting in my way. Cause it's just, I just want to like have that moment in time where I'm playing that game and focusing on that game and can just enjoy everything it has to offer without worrying about like, oh, am I going to remember this if I pause it and then come back? So I really try to do that and like think critically about how much time I have before certain new releases that I need to cover and what I can fit in between those gaps. And so a lot of the time I'll use things like how long to beat to kind of like get a gauge so that I can kind of just plan out my like months ahead when I am seeing like when there are releases, when there aren't, and when do I have time to like fill out my backlog. And as far as games that like, I'm trying to read through the question again. For me, a lot of the time too, I try to be intentional with my backlog. And like if there's a release of something like, you know, Kyoto Xanadu, for example, that gives me kind of a reason to play something in my backlog, I try to do that too. Because I feel like sometimes like playing an older like entry in a series or a game that's in the same franchise can be a good way to kind of prep yourself for the new release and appreciate what it is and how it's built upon what came before. So that's another thing that I always try to keep in mind with my backlog too.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with how you described it, Trevor. I feel like the games that I never beat are the ones that come back. It's one of the reasons like Legend of Dragoon even came up in this episode and why it keeps coming up, because like I tried playing it over and over and I never beat it. And so I was just like, I need to get through this game. Like I need to actually finish it. That was one that was like top of mind for me. There are some games that I started and didn't finish, but they don't weigh on me because I didn't like them. Like they just didn't hit for me. But that's not usually common. Usually the common experience for me is I get distracted. So, you know, game comes out I'm excited about, and then either a new game comes out or I get a review code or something and I kind of shift and switch and I want to get back to it, but I forget about it. And then I'm like, oh man, I still need to beat that game. Yeah, so it's an interesting experience and something that you can find some sort of balance, and it's okay to just be like, you know what, I'm not going to go back to that game, or at least not anytime soon. But I do feel like maybe the difference between the two of us is if I purchase a game and I haven't touched it at all, some of those games still weigh on me pretty heavily because I intended to play those games and then things came up. So an example of that is like Monster Hunter Stories 3. I still want to play that game, but it becomes harder and harder to justify getting back to it when there's all this new stuff coming out. I'm getting through Digimon. Fire Emblem is coming out soon. Trails is coming out soon. And so I want to hit those games. And that can kind of sit with me a little bit where I'm just like, oh, but actually Metaphor is another example of that too. I bought Metaphor and completely planned on playing that. I was so excited and I still haven't played it. And that can be rough because I fully intended to play that game. Right. So even though I didn't start it, there are some examples with games where the intent is strong enough when I buy it that if I don't get it to it till much later, it's like, oh, I need to get back to that game. I need to play that game. So, yeah, that's a great question, though. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was a fun one.
It was. It's a good question.
Last question. Tommy TF01. Hi, all. Tommy here. Relatively new fan ever since I saw the first chapter spoiler cast a few months ago, and I've been enjoying the show ever since. Welcome. Happy to have you, buddy. I'm a bit of a game music enjoyer.
Let's
Me
go.
Too. You're in good company.
Yeah.
Yep.
So my question is, what are each of your favorite instances of musical instruments as a narrative emotional device in games and why? Do you have any recommendations for games that use this idea? For example, my personal favorites are Trails in the Sky FC with Joshua and his harmonica, and how the Whereabouts of Light is used with great effect to bookend the game. And Xenoblade 3 with the Offseer's flutes. In particular, I love how the flutes are used heavily in the OST as well, especially for certain heart-wrenching tracks.
Yep.
Preach.
Yep.
Looking forward to your answers and keep up the great work. I think for me, it's going to be Ocarina and the Ocarina of Time.
Dang it, dude. I was going to say Ocarina of Time, bro.
So yeah,
definitely my favorite instance of this. It just, and it's kind of like what helped me, like as a kid when I played this, is like what helped me understand how important music is to video games. Like prior to Ocarina of Time, I didn't really notice music as much in games. Like, sure, it was there, and like I would vibe with it, and I like enjoyed it. But Ocarina of Time was the first instance as a kid where I was like, oh yeah, music can really shape your overall experience with the game. It can make or break a game. It can have a humongous impact on the game's like overall as like presentation, story, like just how everything feels and hits. You know, some of those moments in Ocarina of Time just like aren't near as substantial without the music. So, and to your point on the instances, like the instances you mentioned, same for sure. So yeah, I love this question.
Yeah, it's hard to not just go with the answers that were referenced, because I mean it's Trails in the Sky and Xenoblade 3. They're like two of my favorite games of all time. And I do think that they use instruments and just music in general as a huge point of the story and the emotion that ties to the characters and kind of like how it represents how they're feeling in the moment. I would add one more to that, and maybe it's cheating because it's not a specific musical instrument, but it is through like vocal performance, and that would be Jack John. I always love a chance to shout this game out, and I do it all the time. But this game is a visual novel, a Tomei visual novel, and it is centered around musical performance. And it has rhythm game elements as well. But I love the way that music is interwoven into this game, because it's all about just the experience of practicing and then performing music. And you as the player are involved because obviously you're learning the songs and having to like input the songs in the rhythm gameplay. And so yeah, the game itself is just a celebration of musical performance and theater. And I just think the music also represents like where the characters are, how they're feeling, their struggles, and ultimately their character arcs. And it's just all like put together in such a beautiful way. So I have to shout it out for this question just for that reason.
Yeah. I love this question. I'm obsessed with gaming music in general. Ocarina of Time was easily one of the moments in time for me where I started to become more obsessed with video game music. Majora's Mask was the same, like Song of Healing and those kinds of songs in that game just like stuck with me. I remember going to an anime store when I was a kid and finding the soundtracks for those games that were imported from Japan, and I was freaking out, and I bought those things. More recent examples of games that are not Xenoblade or Trails. Xenoblade 3 is just kind of the obvious answer, but I think Lost Odyssey is a really good example of this. They had the 1,000 Years of Dreams like narratives that you can read, and like they had these just really solemn piano pieces that would kind of get you into the mindset and help you feel the way that the narrator was feeling in those. And like that game made me just weep like a baby when I played it, especially through the 1,000 Years of Dreams and the piano music playing and everything. I've heard that several times recently, and it still hits. There's some other examples that they're less like thematic throughout the story, but Kingdom Hearts with Dearly Beloved will always take me back and do something to me in a way that very few video game music tracks can. That particular song and the variations of it throughout the games has always meant a lot, and that's something that music can do. Is music can kind of capture the feeling and in a weird way, even the like the experiences that you had at the time. Like I hear some of this music and I'm like right back on my couch when I was a kid. You know, it just like takes you back to it. And I mean, I could go on with like some of the Final Fantasy soundtracks. Like more recently, Expedition 33 did a fantastic job with that soundtrack of bringing in sort of the reoccurring themes and adding elements to it that made it very emotive and very emotional. Yeah. So shout outs for this question. I absolutely love this. I didn't give any specific examples of very many instruments per se besides like piano, but I think just music in general adds so much to the experience, and that's inside and outside of the game as well, because this music sticks with us. You know, I still hear some of these tracks from these old games and they hit. They still hit, they still take me back, and I love that about music in general. Music just does something to us. It resonates with our soul. And I love that. Like music is just such a gift. So it's one of the reasons I love video games as an art, because you have the visuals, you have the mechanics, you have the fun, but you also have the music and the presentation. And when you bring it all together, it's just one of the most incredible art forms that we have in modern day. It's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all the questions. Thanks for your questions.
Yeah.
I did my best to read them this week. I usually don't. So if you are here for the first time and you made it this far into the show, shout out to you. But usually Brandon's the one that reads the question. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, if you're still here, like, comment, and subscribe, baby. What are we doing?
Do that too.
And join the Discord.
Join the Discord.
Join the Discord, please.
Come hang out.
All right.
Okay.
But we have bonus XP. And today, actually, Slam, I'm going to have you introduce this because you're in the hosting mode, and then I'm going to take it on and I'm going to destroy you. Yeah. Let's go.
All right. Okay. Well, listen. So I came up with an idea for JRPG Courtroom. We're going to give this a try after the auction debacle last week. We'll see how it goes.
There was no debacle.
It was completely insane.
It was it devolved so quickly.
Chaos. There was no structure or rhyme or reason to anything.
We were just like, let's do an auction.
That bonus
Personally,
XP.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. So
yeah, of course you did.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the idea here is there is a judge. The judge will be our good friend here, Brandon, right? And then there is a defendant and I don't know if that's the right word. One of us is going to defend the game. The other is going to like advocate for the game, right?
Those are the same things.
You mean attack the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
It's just like,
and
wait.
Then, yeah. Sorry. Okay.
You got it. You got it.
Got it. So, like, 'cause I was just picturing in a courtroom, the defense is usually of the bad guy.
Yeah.
So, like, that was in my
head. The game's on trial.
The game's on trial.
Right.
Circle back. Game's on trial. One person has to attack the game and say this game is not good, and then the other person has to defend the game and say the game is great. And Brandon here, the judge, has to determine who the winner is and whether the game is good or bad. What happens to the game if it's bad? Does it go to prison for life?
Yes.
Is it locked away forever? No one can ever play it again? We don't know.
We're going to close that prison door. Gone. It's on death row now.
Oh, he also gets to pick the game too.
I do.
Yeah, he gets to pick the game. So Mags and I have no idea what this game is yet. We've had no time to prepare. In fact, we just came up with this idea. So please fully expect all the chaos from last week to carry over into bonus XP this week. Brandon, take it away.
I'm scared.
Thank you all for coming today. On trial this day is the JRPG known as The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 1.
No.
I knew he was going to throw a Trails game at us.
Oh, no, don't do that.
It's going to tear us apart, Slam. It's going to tear us apart.
An opening statement from both of you on your position once you have determined your stance. I want to hear rebuttals, and then we will make our determination.
Max, do you want to defend or attack Trails of Cold Steel 1?
I love being the judge.
You know I have to defend it.
I know.
I can't.
I know. Why does it have to be Cold Steel 1? Can we start over?
No.
You gave him this power.
Medic on Ice, this is for you, buddy.
I knew this would happen. I knew he was going to turn us against each other and tear us apart.
Max, we can do this.
We can do this.
We can do this in a civil way.
Order in the court. There will be no discussion from here on out. We have our stances. I would like to hear our opening statements, and then we will proceed to the rebuttals, where we will conclude the investigation and outcome of this poor soul of a video game.
Okay.
We will be starting with Mags.
Okay. Your Honor, we're standing in the courtroom today to discuss the merits of Trails of Cold Steel. That's right. What a title. Cold Steel. Anyway, the game is the first entry in the Erebonian arc of the Trails series. It marks a new chapter in this well-beloved series by Neon Falcom, where we enter into the Empire of Erebonia, which was a setting discussed in previous games, but now we're finally getting a look to see what this place is really about. And we get to see it through the eyes of Class 7, who attend Thor's Military Academy. This class includes students of all different walks of life, having different perspectives, who have to learn how to work together, overcome challenges, utilize their unique skills and talents, and become a group that is both cohesive and close, and while still remaining uniquely themselves. And so we follow this group on a journey of twists and turns as we learn more about Erebonia and the true mystery of the Trails series overall. And it starts off really strong, and we embark on that trail.
Mr. Slam, Zany.
I've been a long time Trails fan. I started Trails in the Sky, carried over into Crossbell, thoroughly enjoyed Trails of Azure, the game that came right before Trails of Cold Steel. I go into Cold Steel, and I'll be honest, to be transparent with you, I felt robbed.
Robbed.
Trails of Azure, larger than life, substantial twists and turns, kicks off just rolling, right? With all the story beats and character development, all the lore, it's fantastic. Trails of Cold Steel, on the other hand, introduces us to a new Class 7. But what are they trying to do here? We don't know yet. And how long does it actually take for us to figure that out? Would you say a few hours, maybe 10, 15, perhaps more than that, a lot more than that, maybe 50 or so hours before we really get an idea of what's going on? And what do we do during that time, right? We get a little taste of some Persona-esque game mechanics, but do those get really fleshed out? Do we get the level of quality that we see in the social aspects of games like Persona? The answer to that question is no.
Okay.
Mags, we will now turn to you for your rebuttal to Slam's opening statement.
Okay. So I think trying to compare Trails of Cold Steel to Trails to Azure is a bit unfair. Mainly because Trails to Azure is as strong as it is due to the foundation laid in Trails from Zero in the Crossbell arc. Now, that isn't to say that Trails of Cold Steel doesn't have its issues, but I do think that it is a game that has to set the stage for what's to come. And so because of that, there is going to be a different experience compared to Trails to Azure. That game has a ton of payoff, and it's because it had a game before it to make that payoff make sense. Trails of Cold Steel serves that same purpose for future sequels, and so I think it's still worth experiencing and valuing because of that. I'm not going to say that all of the mechanics work perfectly together as they should, especially when compared to Persona, but I do think that the game does a good job at setting the stage for what happens in Trails of Cold Steel 2. That game would not hit as hard or be as meaningful without the relationships and bonds forged in Trails of Cold Steel 1, and without just the setup and lore as well, as you learn about Erebonia throughout the various field studies and activities and missions that you complete as Class 7.
Mr. Zaney, your rebuttal.
What do I do in the scenario where like I agree with everything she said?
Mr. Zaney, your rebuttal.
Okay. All right. Let me try to get in character here. But what about the old schoolhouse?
Objection. I knew that was coming. I was like, he's going to bring it up. Hold it.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
You make some good points, Max. Yes, Trails of Cold Steel is the introduction to a new arc. Yes, Trails of Azure had gained all the benefits from, all the games that came before it. But could Trails of Cold Steel not utilize some of those games better in the early parts of Cold Steel to kind of get fans that have been with the series for a long time, engaged and immersed and hooked into what's going to go next? Because I feel like in Trails of Cold Steel, it is the one game I've played in the series so far that has lacked that in the early hours of the game.
Moogle Mags, your final concluding thoughts, please.
Final thoughts. Okay.
Final thoughts. Okay. We're going into final thoughts.
So first I'll address Slam's concern real quick, and we'll say, I understand that it doesn't have as many connections as previous Trails games, but this game was intended as kind of a new entry point for players for the series when Falcom was developing it. And so I think from that perspective, it's understandable why they wouldn't include as many references until you get deeper into Cold Steel, because perhaps after playing Cold Steel, people would want to go back and see what kind of came before so that they can get the full picture later on in the arc. I myself actually played Trails of Cold Steel first because of its connections to Persona. And so I was immediately hooked by it. And that's what got me into the series. So I am evidence standing before this courtroom right now that Cold Steel has value and has the power to pull people into the series and have them stick with it. So that, along with just other stories of people getting into the series based on this game, is extremely valuable, extremely valid and important. And that, along with all of the strengths of the game, including the characters, the overall story, the introduction to Erebonia, the combat system, the way that this game kind of increases the scope of Trails overall are why, to me, it deserves its spot. And it doesn't need to go to jail or whatever the consequence is in this court, because I'm not really sure.
This is kangaroo court. All right. Closing argument. The old schoolhouse. I'm just going to say my closing argument with the game is going to be the overall predictable and repetitive structure of Trails of Cold Steel. It's the only game in the Trail series that has suffered this, in my opinion, where each chapter plays out exactly the same, right? You go on, you have your free days or whatever, you do your field studies, and then you do the old schoolhouse. And it does this over and over and over again, even as substantial story moments are happening in the foreground. These are not background things that are happening. You are still required to have your free day and your old schoolhouse session every time, like clockwork. And if you are someone like me who doesn't like going through the same exact dungeon repeatedly over and over again for hours and hours and hours, it's going to be disappointing from that perspective. Now, is the game overall a good game? Yes. Does this set the story for what's to come? And as someone who is in the middle of Cold Steel 3, yeah, just wouldn't be as good without that, right? That foundation that was laid by Cold Steel 1. But could it have been better? Right? Yes, it could have been better.
Thank you, Mags and Mr. Zaney, for your thorough arguments. These are my concluding thoughts. Maggie holds the stronger argument in this court. However, Slam was hilarious.
Are you serious?
That being said, let the record show that I am a just judge. And as much as I love chaos and humor, I must rule in favor of The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, for the incredibly in-depth argument and discussion coming from Mags. So congratulations, Mags. You have won.
Thank you.
The court, and Trails of Cold Steel.
It was well deserved. Still stands. I'll be honest. It was as much as I have a few issues with the game. It was hard to argue. I mean, I knew exactly what point she was going to make to my responses. I knew that she was going to be like, "This is an entry point for the game." Like I knew these things were coming.
Yeah. Well, we've had these discussions. I feel like both of us in our true spoiler tag glory have had these discussions in our Discord chat about the issues, the strengths, and kind of going back and forth about why the game is what it is. So
overall, I love the game.
Yeah.
And I would hate to see it thrown into prison and gone forever. So I'm glad, Mags. I'm glad that you were able to win. But honestly, this was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
That was a pretty amazing game. Shout out to Bonus XP this week. Right?
Yeah. Shout out to Slam for the idea. And shout out to Brandon for being the judge.
Yeah. That was so
fun. I loved making Mag's heart skip a beat there when I said, however.
I was like, dude,
Slam was hilarious.
Slam was hilarious.
You're going to take another dub from me.
Oh, man.
I won't survive.
All right. Good.
Well, that wraps it up this week. So if you're still here and you haven't subscribed or liked or commented, please do. Thanks for being here, everybody. We appreciate you all. Shout outs to the members. We love you guys. And we will see you all on the next one. Later.
Bye.